For those of you looking for land to go off grid, you may be thinking to yourself right now that that might not be a possible dream, right? Post-COVID, land prices have been going through the roof along with almost everything else in order to develop a homestead. So how does someone actually go off grid if they don't have any money? Well, I got 4 ideas for you that can help you go off grid before the end of the year. Let's go ahead and get right into them. Now, first off, you may have already heard about owner financing. You can find owner finance properties throughout the country. Now, if you don't have very much money, you may want to think twice about going to a place like Hawaii, where costs of things are double the price of most things somewhere else. But in places like Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, there's cheap owner finance land where you could get hundreds of acres for pennies on the dollar. You don't have to put very much down, and the monthly payments are totally doable if you have a way to bring an income in. There's a lot of websites out there that list owner finance land. You could check out landwatch.com or countryclassics.com, both sites with lots of properties throughout America that are relatively affordable and financed by the owner. Now, the thing about owner financing is you can usually get in there without having to have a big down payment, but the trade-off is the interest payments are pretty high. Typically, the interest runs 5 to 10% on an owner finance property, whereas right now, if you had a typical bank mortgage, you're at 3.5%. So you can see it's a lot higher than normal interest rates, but if you don't have a down payment, it's a great way to get onto some land. Another way to get onto some land with very little money is maybe checking out the USDA Rural Development Loans. I myself went through the process a little while back to try and apply for one of these loans. It's a great program put on by USDA, a governmental agency, where the loans are low to zero down payment and the interest rates are really low. Now, the homes have to be located in a semi-rural location. Where I live here in Hawaii, there are these loans given out where I currently live right now. So I'm 10 miles from Hilo, and I could get a rural development loan for a home. Now, they're pretty easy to apply for. You just have to find a bank that offers these loans, and you have to be sure to apply for a conventional loan and then be turned down, and then you qualify for applying for a USDA rural development loan. Now, once you get land, you can then go take it a step further and apply for the USDA NRCS EQIP grant. I know that's a lot of letters right there, but that grant right there is something you want to remember, the EQIP grant. Once you have a piece of property, that grant can pay for almost everything that you want to install. Fencing, greenhouses, animal enclosures, irrigation, compost, mulch, you name it. It pays for so much on a homestead that it is a really great program to get into. So keep that in mind if you ever do get a piece of land of your own. Another way to get out there onto land of your own is to find free land. Amazingly enough, free land does exist. Sometimes you'll see on social media a post about a house being sold for $1. Or you could find, there's websites online that list free land in places like Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Oklahoma, where you can get a plot of free land. But there is a catch. There is no such thing as a free lunch, as they say in economics, and nothing is really free. And so you get this free land or this house for $1, but you're expected to develop it or to remodel it. And sometimes that could cost well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you got to really check out what the terms are for free land. Maybe you can get that land and park an RV on it. Maybe there's some really loose terms on what it takes for you to qualify. But search out there. The internet is an awesome tool to be able to find stuff like this. Finding any of these tips helpful so far? If you are, why don't you plant your finger on that like button right now? Every time that button gets hit, this channel grows. So help me thrive. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so now this last way for you to get onto some land, if you have no money, is one of my favorite ways. It's a little bit outside the box. You don't exactly own the land for yourself, but in fact, this way might be even better. I'm talking about caretaking land, being a property manager. All these ways are great ways for you to get onto land if you have no money. The other methods I mentioned before, you have to have income in order to still pay for that land. If you get it owner financed, if you got a USDA rural development loan, or even if you found free land, you have to pay for something. But if you can work trade at somebody else's land where they're trying to develop an off-grid homestead, and you can live that life tomorrow. There are posts all over Facebook and Craigslist and on websites like woof.com where you can find places for you to be able to trade your time and services to help develop the land in exchange for a home and sometimes food, which can be a pretty awesome thing. In fact, if you have real skills, you can get paid for doing it. That's what I did for a number of years in Malibu, out of all places. I got paid to live on an awesome property in Malibu and to develop their property into a permaculture food forest. And I got paid pretty well to do it too. And it was an awesome experience, one where I learned a lot, and one that I wish I can do today. Now, this opportunity here is mostly available for single people, couples, and maybe a couple with one kid. But once you start having a family, the opportunities really start to dry up. Yeah, I always felt like while the owner of the land had this beautiful piece of property, he was always out working, paying for it. Whereas I was the one getting paid to stay on that land and to really appreciate it. It was an awesome experience. And if you really want to get off grid, that is the number one way to go off grid with no money right there. Check that out. Woofing, Workaway, Craigslist, Facebook. Build some real skills. Get a job right now where you can build skills in landscape development and installations, and then find a place for you to offer those skills to. All right, well, there you have it, guys. 4 ways for you to get off grid and to get some land or to live on land with little to no money. I hope these tips today gave you hope that it's possible that you can go off land even in this high real estate priced environment. Next video, I'm going to be sharing how to develop that land with very little money, how to get your home built, how to establish water systems, power, food gardens, waste, how to do all that for relatively little to no money. So you're going to want to check out that video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And until next time, ahoy ho.